Nico Castellanos, please take your seat. I'm talking to the speaker.
We could hear, bro.
He was walking.
You heard me.
Where's this one?
Where your people at?
Did you sleep a lot yesterday?
I had a good weekend, that's why I said yes. Whose dog is that? Oh, they're bringing my kids to school now. Yes.
I'm moving my contacts to more people.
I mean, they can tune it off.
Alrighty, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. This is our second annual Student Government Election Town Hall hosted here at Hawks Landing, which is the Dale Mabry campus dorm. This collaboration was done with both Hawk Talk, a student-ran podcast that promotes discussions about student experiences, as well as with the Student Government Association and the Dale Mabry Campus Student Activities Office. So I'm going to be emceeing. I am your student activity coordinator, Catherine Foreman. This is going to be kind of the rundown. We've got 7 candidates running. We have 3 running for president, which includes Etty, Josh, and Nico. We've got 1 candidate running for vice president, Lise. We have 2 for treasurer, Sophie, who's currently not with us, and Luis. And we have 1 for secretary, which is Tony. Each contestant will be interviewed using the same questions unless there is a position-specific question. They'll have 3 minutes to respond. I will ask for each of the candidates to just make a commitment to making sure that we're focusing on your individual qualifications. We're going to have a nice, clean discussion here, so try to avoid any spicy language or disparaging any particular candidates. For my audience here, if you've got questions in specific, go ahead and write those bad boys down. We'll go over and get them asked here. I've got my lovely assistant over here, Adam Hojai, to go over and collect your questions so that we can have a nice format. We're also live streaming this on YouTube, so writing down your questions will allow us to make sure that the folks watching at home will be able to actually hear your questions. So with that, we will go over and start with our first question from online. We posted onto our Instagram asking the candidates, why are you running for your current position? We'll go over and start with my left. So if Josh will go over and answer, why do you want the president position?
Okay, for me, I know that being a leader is very diverse because I feel like no one's ever really prepared to be a leader. It's kind of like being a father. You're not really, it's not really something you're really prepared for. It's kind of one of those things that you know as you go. And, you know, I always have the mindset of helping others and being the person to talk to other people in ways that are more personal, more in terms of whatever they need to get addressed. And my goal is really to just help those with the things that are tedious and overlooked and do that as much as possible for my campaign.
Thank you so much. So we'll go over to Etty next, also running for president. So the question is, why are you running for the president position?
Well, the past institutes that I've attended are ran for student council positions in there as well, so I think that I have the experience, and well, like I said, that no one's ever prepared for it and the experience. So it's always a good thing to be, you know, experiencing new things, and if it's helping someone, then why not? And I'm just here to make all our times on campus memorable and, you know, do my part to make ACC a better place.
Thank you very much. So next, the question here for our secretary candidate, Tony, why do you want the position of secretary?
So in the past, I've been the secretary of Student Council High School, and I'm currently secretary of event creation and also shit. I just find that because I'm not good with words, so like speaking, I find it much more enjoyable for me to be the record keeper, because I find it really important to write down what's being discussed, because important stuff gets discussed all the time, but once the discussion stops, the topic just goes away. So I find record keeping as a really valuable part, especially in SGA, where a lot of important discussion is being made and requests. So I find it's a really interesting position.
Thank you very much. So for Lise, why are you running to become the vice president?
How much do I have to respond?
You have a maximum of 3 minutes, although if you don't use all of the time, that's also okay.
Perfect. So, hi. The thing I want to run for vice president is because when I went to HEC, I was very lost. I was 17 years old and I did not know English. It was SGA, the advisors, and the right now city board who guide me, who gave me leadership skills, who helped me to see what much I'm able for to do. So what I want to do as the president is to help another student the same way. I want to advocate for them. I want to guide them. I want to show them how much they're able to do. For me, that's very important. I want to give my proposals, give a better community to our students. I also have a lot of experience in positions of leadership as social media manager in in America, social share, I say, even a staff several for SGA at the 2 semesters. So that's a brief resume.
Thank you very much. So Luis, why do you want the position of treasurer?
Well, hello everyone. Well, first of all, I saw the responsibilities and I wanted to challenge. Since I'm the current secretary of ANETE, the honor stuff, also the vice president of SHEP. I wanted this position to try something new and also like to sharpen my leadership skills that will be useful for me for next semester to be the president of SHEP. Also, I thought about all the responsibilities that I will have, I will have the following year while being president of SHEP. Hopefully, also president of ANETE. I thought that go for a position like president or vice president would take a lot of time from me, and I hope like I could have not been like that good in that position. So I saw the responsibilities, and I decided that the treasurer was the one that would be like a basket for me to keep leading through campus, to keep influentiating people. Yeah, make a huge impact within my community.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, Nico, why are you running for the position of president?
Hi everyone, I'm so happy to be here. I would like to start off by saying that I love HEC and I love SGA. I've been part of this beautiful organization for 3 semesters, and in this organization I learned the patience, and I learned how to handle my leadership skills. And I have to say that eventually I would love to give back the campus that gave me so much when I first got there. I would like to retrieve and give everything back that I can. I love being in a leadership role because not only could I fulfill my responsibilities and my goals, but I can also serve as an inspiration for others. And that's something that really fills me up to not only bring and put myself and my work on the table, but also represent everyone else on campus and make sure that every voice is being heard and every opinion is being heard as well.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, our first question here that goes to you folks generally, aside from why exactly are you running? The Dale Mabry campus hosts students from a variety of different backgrounds, ages, and environments. How will you make sure that the student government makes every student feel welcome if you are elected? So we'll start with Nico.
Well, that goes actually in hand with my project, which is to represent international and immigrant students on campus. I mentioned before that I would like to make a lounge for the international and immigrant students, so everybody who has a different ethnicity or background can go there and they can not only have resources and have fun, but also feel comfortable in a space where you're not being judged and where you're being loved and where you have people just like you over there. I feel like SGA has done a really good job when it comes to integrating people and celebrating diversity. We have some examples, like for example, Pride on the Quad. We also have the Black History Month, but I feel like there's still a lot of work to do when it comes to representation. There's still a lot of ethnicities and groups that can be a little bit overlooked, and I understand that it can be based on, population. We have a lot of immigrants of Latin descent, and maybe not as much as other nationalities, but representation matters at the end of the day. So I would like to make the campus more inclusive, and that way we can include also those who may not be on the top of the mind, everybody else.
Awesome. Thank you. So, same question for you. How will you make sure that student government makes every student feel welcome?
Well, I think the key is to support even more our subcommittees within SGA and also support a lot of clubs, because these 2 groups are the ones that reach our community like from all edges. So what I would do is, as a treasurer, would be like try to be part of the subcommittees that would be assigned to, because, well, from my perspective and from my experience as vice chair of student outreach, our people manager, it's helpful, but it could be like better. So as a treasurer, we'll be like more involved with my subcommittee in order to help them to reach more and more people and reach more and more perspectives. Also, clubs like ISA are very helpful to reach people from all over the world, from all over perspectives and backgrounds. And also, I will try to share ideas of events where we can assure that all people will be heard and included to make our campus life better and more inclusive.
Thank you very much. Please, how will you make sure that every student feels welcome?
Okay. For example, one of my proposals Sunday was to improve the cultural and heritage and diversity events. We have a lot of international students in our campus. Yeah, I know that everybody wants to see a little bit of the culture be represented in our campus. So one of my plans is to make that cultural events more important and more big in our campus. For example, the Spanish Heritage Month, the Chinese New Year, the St. Patrick's Day, also the History Month, something that I can still continue because it's important. Yeah, I think that to feel welcome for our students is communicate with them, to know that there is somebody there eager to help you and to guide them. Because we have to say different ages, different countries, different language, different forms of think and believe. I think the most important is to tell them that doesn't matter what their age or where they're from or why is the way they think. We are here to help them, to listen to them for the clubs and for our students. Thank you.
Awesome. Tony, same question.
So since I'm the secretary, I will definitely write down the ideas and the even complaints of students in HCC and make sure that the things I write down is first understandable, detailed, and also encompass the whole idea that they have, and make sure that the notes will reach SGA discussions and will be addressed accordingly without being either lost in translation or just put to the side and not even talked about.
Great. Ati, how will you make sure that the student government makes every student feel welcome?
Well, cultural and heritage events first of all, and then the communities can communicate with students and reach out to more students. And instead of dividing them that this cultural students or all that, making them feel included in the HCC family rather than all the others, so making the whole community more welcoming and inclusive to us. Going back to students and events and
Thank you very much. And our last candidate to respond, Josh, same question.
First of all, fine speech from my competitors as well. But I feel like there's a common theme for everybody that mentioned their statements, and that is finding a problem and then finding a solution. Regardless of race, gender, whatever we come across on campus, we all want to be seen, we all want to feel included. And so I think the biggest thing for me is making sure that we generalize what the common similarities between each group has as far as issues, and break it down per group to make sure that we're tackling every single aspect of each problem to the best of our abilities. So that's me.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So our next question kind of pivots, but could potentially be related here. And we're going to have Luis answer first when we start popcorning around. So the question is, how do you address conflicts with people you don't like but still have to work with?
Well, that's a good one. Okay, so what I will do is every time that I have to work, I have to separate work with what I feel to that person. I have to get the work done. So I have to think that my work will be beneficial for everyone, not just for him. I won't let the hate bite me. I will keep my vision straight and keep our relation apart, because since we are in a professional environment, so I would have to take that hate apart and still work with that person. To keep working without judging or without make that my feelings will be something that will bother the communication. I will also make the environment heavy, so I will ensure communication and also talk with that person as Josh said, if you have a problem, you have to find the solution, and even more, you're working with that person, so talk to that person, find the solution to the problem. If there's some problem, talk and ensure that communication is effective and get the job done.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Next up will be Nico. So how do you address conflict with people that you don't like but still have to work with?
Well, I have to say that wherever you go, there's always going to be people you like or you don't like. But it's up to you, and it's part of being a leader to be known and being able to differentiate your personal problems and also your work environment. You have the responsibility to be a leader to make sure that everything's being done, but also making sure that the environment is comfortable. So the very first step is always communication because that's going to be the very first and the key solution to make sure that everything's being done. There's nothing that communication cannot solve when it comes to like organizations like SGA. So definitely there's times as well where I've had disagreements or where, for example, have different visions when it comes to plans. But at the end of the day, it's all about communication and making sure that everybody's opinion is being heard. You want to make sure that you're also validating everybody in the room so you can prevent any misunderstandings.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So we'll go with Elise next. So how do you address conflicts with people that you don't like but still have to work with?
What I really like that each professor has told me in class is that college is the beginning of your work life. So in your work life, you have to work with a lot of people that you don't like or you need to go along with. So I think that it's important to us to learn to separate a professional life with a personal life. ESGA is going to be part of professional life because you're going to be representative of our college, our student body. So we can allow to because somebody don't like me, I'm not going to do my work well. Because I don't like the person, I'm not going to help that person. Because I have to be equal. I have to help everybody because I'm in a position where I represent all the college. Even though it's good that from my personal beliefs or my personal team, it's going to affect my professional life. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so we'll go to Josh next.
For me, I feel like as far as just being a good leader, it's very important to know what you prioritize. You know, if your priority lies with hating someone so much to the point you can't get your job done properly, I feel like that tells a lot about who you are as a person to begin with. So knowing your priorities, knowing what it is the most important, and then working your way down from the rest. Because truth be told, like a lot of the problems that we have be more mental than physical. Like it's all in our heads. There's probably times you walk in the room, you're already like, oh my God, this guy in here. And the whole time the dude not even worried about you. He's just there doing his thing. So just making sure that you have your priorities straight, know what matters the most, know what matters the most to your peers, your friends, or the campus lifestyle. Those are the most important thing for me. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. We can go over with Etty next, and then we'll finish with Tony.
Repeat the question.
Yes, so the question is, how do you address conflicts with people that you don't like but still have to work with?
Let's say if I work with someone I don't like, I have a very specific way to do that. I'll invite them over for coffee or like before starting working with them. I'll address the whole thing in a civil manner, like this is the whole problem, and this is why I don't like you, or maybe this is what's causing a strain in the relationship that we like share. But let's not let that like stop us from working together. So let's put our differences aside and work together. So let's maybe if it can be worked out, work it out over that coffee, and if it isn't, just end it with let's keep it professional. So our performance isn't affected. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to follow.
Awesome.
Because everyone's at least, worth a cup of coffee.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And then Tony, the question is, how do you address conflicts with people that you don't like but still have to work with?
I apologize about it. It's a repeat, but I do firmly believe in a separation between your professional and personal life. And if you don't like someone, that's pretty much all in your personal life. So I wouldn't let that lead to my professional life. So if I have to work with them, I would keep it as professional as possible and do my job, work with them, and at the end of the day, just don't let your emotions interfere with your work. And my solution high 100% right now. And I hope it stays that way all through next year if I become secretary next year.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So we will go over to Lise.
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, where do you draw determination from and how much do you have?
Para explain the first question, when I arrived to HEC, I was very shy. I had no confidence in myself. I was thinking to SGA, was thinking to my friend that I met, was thinking to the groups that I joined, that I get confident in myself, that I was able to know how much I'm able for. So when the election for the vice president was open for the executive board, I knew that I was capable to do that and even more. That's from my determination. Then to how much I can get a determination, I will say that I will be able to listen to each of the students. I will be able to do my best on me to be the president that SGA deserves, the vice president that the student body deserves. To listen to them, to do a really good job, and to advocate for all of you. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We will go to Nico. Where do you draw determination from and how much do you have?
I would say that I got my determination. I grew up being the outcast, and I grew up being a kid not only that was misunderstood, but also was discriminated, who was told multiple times by his environment that he was worthless and that he had nothing to prove and that he was never going to be enough. But I grew up to be a man. I moved to the United States. I come from Venezuela. And not only did I learn that this is all not true, everybody has power inside and everybody has the chance to change their future and to change what they want to do in their lives. Not only did I grow to become a stronger person, but I also became more focused on what really mattered, which was to study and to also make sure that I have a voice and I'm providing my voice so it becomes the voice of other people as well. So that's where I found my strength and my determination from realizing the own power that I have inside me. And that's what's leading me right now to be here. And that's what is leading me to the pathway to presidency as well. Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll go over to Eti to go over and answer this question. So where do you draw determination from and how much do you have?
I draw my determination from my will to give back to the welcoming HCC society that accepted me, and I want to work for any society that I reside in. And how much do I have? Well, as much as is needed to get a job done.
Thank you. So we'll go to Josh next. Any question?
All right, for me, where I draw from, to be honest, like, I don't really necessarily have one source of what draws it. I mean, of course, it's my immigrant parents that came over here and brought us with a new chance in a new life. There's friends, there's relatives, but I think the biggest thing for me is not knowing who I had the capabilities of being until I realized what opportunities were out there in the first place. Being a kid growing up, I didn't really go out much. I was in the house most of the time. I didn't talk to people. I was introverted. And I just remember the first time I went on a field trip and like being able to talk to other people and experience different connections. And I would always hear the thing of like people tell me like, "Oh, you definitely like have great vibes, great energy, whatever the case may be." And it made me feel good inside because I was like, I didn't know what to expect when I go outside into the real world. And the reason I'm saying all this is because fast forward to now, the conversation changed. Now it's not about vibes, it's about how I carry myself, my character, doing things like you would be a great leader, you have leadership qualities, great skills, and people always tell me to stop being afraid to put to the test, and I'm doing that now. And I believe that with this position, I'll be able to exercise that and see like if what people are talking about in the hype is true.
Thank you. Last but not least, for Luis, where do you draw determination from and how much do you have?
Well, as an international student, I would say my three main sources of determination are my family, my background story, my vision. So I'm a person that has been family oriented his whole life. As a farmer's family, what we always do is just stick together all the time. So yeah, my background story. So we've been in Colombia, back then in Colombia. I was used to work a lot with them. So they are like the people that incentivates me to give my 100% every day. And also, I remember like this story when I was going through the process to get my student visa. I remember like the night when I went through the interview process to get my visa. I remember like to be praying with my mom, and I promised God if I got my visa, I will do like the most of the opportunity that He will give me. So that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to give my 100% everything that I do. So hopefully, if I get this position, I will keep that promise to still be giving my 100% at this position, and also to make proud myself and also my family.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So, so we're going to ask kind of our last general question, and then we will go into the role-specific ones here. So this one's a little bit of a doozy. How will you handle situations where your personal beliefs or opinions may conflict with the broader needs or desires of the student body? And how will you ensure that your decisions are based on the collective good rather than individual interests? So I'll give you a second to kind of think about that one.
Repeat that one more time.
Okay. How will you handle situations where your personal beliefs or opinions may conflict with the broader needs or desires of the student body? And how will you make sure that the decisions you make based on that are on the collective good rather than individual interests? So
Go first one.
go for it, buddy.
All right. For me, well, first, I feel like it's important to understand what the belief system is of you. Like, I'm going into the position, I will take the time to actually break down what do I believe, what are my goals, and then I will ask for others' opinions, because again, it's not a one-man job, it's a team effort. See what my board is looking like, see what their position, their beliefs is. Because I believe what can happen is if we allow other people's opinions to mix in with your own, if your strong suit isn't the topic that's being addressed, you can get those answers from the person who does co-sign with the things that you may not be as deeply involved in. So utilizing your team, utilizing your group and people to work together to figure out, okay, let's say they're talking about basketball and I like football. Okay, Nico, what do you know about football that I don't know about? You know, just utilizing what other people's opinions are, and you can make an informed decision on who knows what and when. So, did I answer the question? All right.
Okay. Does anyone want to volunteer to be next? Do you want me to volunteer you?
So basically, it comes back to my idea of separating my professional and personal life. I would say when it comes to personal belief, that falls wholly into my personal side. And because I'm going for the secretary position, I will make sure to keep my personal belief to a side and totally be professional with especially what I write down, and also especially in the discussions, I just keep the interest of the whole student body in my mind and not let myself interfere with it. And I also believe that's what the general meeting is for. That's where you can get the students' belief rather than your own.
Thank you very much. Luis?
What I would definitely do is expose, of course, my point of view. Why would I be like agree or disagree with a certain decision that we should like do? So since we will be a team, I would like express my point of view, hear others' points of view, and then like discuss, because that's the whole point, talk and see like what other people say, like what other people think, and be able to evaluate with my whole team and see what we can figure out and what we think is the best for our student body. That will be the one and only that will get the benefit from what we as a team will decide or what we do.
Etty, would you like to go next?
Sure.
Awesome. Oh, yep. OSHA approved.
Oh, let's say, first of all, like Tony said, that keeping personal beliefs and professionalism is separated. And even if my rules of like professional life aren't really coinciding with that whole thing, I'm gonna go to the people who elected me, the student body, and ask them that this is what I think, and what do you guys think should be done? Ask the committees to reach out and reach out to them myself. Yeah. So that's how I make a decision.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Please.
I think when it came to a decision that you can feel that it's going against some, for example, my religion, things like that, here's the problem with ethic and morals. Because I can say this is not for going with my morals. If I want to be an ethical leadership, I have a team that represents a student body with different feelings, with different teams, with different beliefs. So that's why I rely on my team. Here when you see are very people but at different positions. So we are a team. So we take the decisions together. We also have the advisors, we also have the senators. So even if I have a personal belief, I have to think as an ethical leader. Rely on my team and together take a decision that is the benefit for the student body, not for me. Because cannot follow my morals, but I'm gonna be an ethical leader. Thank you.
And Nico.
I have to say that it's beautiful that we live in a country where all opinions can be different and people can be different. There's beautiful in being diverse. When it comes to my personal interest, if I were to become the president at the end of the day, I'm representing the student body, and it is important to if there's a belief that it's conflicting, sometimes you have to put those aside so you can work with the people from the organization. And at the end of the day, I also believe that a lot of times majority rules, and that's really important as an organization to work together so you can reach that goal. And it's also like going back to the whole ethical question, we have to ask ourselves, is this ethical? Because we also have to ask ourselves that because we don't want to follow something or a plan that we're not aligning with. So it is important that we all have a consensus about what is ethical and what is not.
Thank you very much. Okay, so we're now going to get into the questions that are specifically for the role. Obviously, there are more presidential candidates here, so a lot of these questions are going to focus on them, but we're going to go over and bounce around to make sure that our other folks in the center here have some screen time. All right, so our first question for the presidential candidates are, how will you utilize the rest of the executive board to achieve your desired goals?
Well, starting reflecting on all the positions, we have the vice president who would be my right-hand man pretty much. Anything that I feel like I cannot do, I'm not gonna rely all my work on the vice president because the vice president has their own roles, has their own assignments, such as doing points or doing something else. So if I ever feel like I'm feeling a little bit behind, maybe asking my VP for some guidance or for some help. But at the end of the day, whether you as a leader, you have to fulfill your own role. That's what you sign up from day one. And when it comes to the treasurer, of course, making sure that all the balances and inquiries are aligning with what's being stipulated with the secretary, making sure that all the agenda amendments are being good and that everything's being submitted at the end of each meeting. And with the chief of staff, of course, maintaining good communication with the senators and to make sure that also our social media content is being posted And we're also letting the rest of HEC campus see our vision, what we're trying to bring on the table. So I believe that we can all work together as a board and we can make great change happen on campus.
Thank you very much. So we'll have Josh respond next. So the question is, how will you utilize the rest of the executive board officers to achieve your desired goals?
Okay. For me, I feel like as far as, well, let me start by saying this, like, the president role should not be used as an ego booster. I feel like that's the most important thing. No area is bigger than the next one. We are a team, we're one. Everybody's role is important. A common thing that I used in my speeches and the things I told people about was, we're a body. Like, the arm can't do what the leg can do, the leg can't do what the head can do, and things of that nature. So I feel like making sure that each body part is cohesively moving and working at the same time will be the most important thing to me. As long as I'm on my stuff and everybody else on their stuff, we'll do a great thing as one body and one meeting. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, for candidate Etty.
Well, first of all, doing all the duties that we signed up for, of course, and let's say decision making and everything, vice president, and as for the secretary, making sure that everything is written down and, counted for, treasurer. So any of our decisions aren't really, more expensive than they're supposed to be. So they're in the budget. As for the chief of staff to communicate with the whole Senate body and the student body. So yeah, just so no one's left out when making a decision. So we're all working as we're supposed to, as a whole body, and not just dilly-dallying around with, I said this, I want this, you want that, all that stuff.
Awesome. So we have a question for the vice president specifically. Obviously, the vice president is responsible for overseeing the involvement of the SGA senators, which we cap at 50 student government senators. In the past few years, we've had anywhere between 40 and 50 actively involved senators. So what is going to be your approach to managing such a large number of people?
I mean, Brazil, I think I personally had to learn really good time management. I had to tell right now, I in a lot of clubs with a lot of positions and social media managers, social I also manage club and also keep a 4.0 GPA and also work at the same time. So I think my time management right now is pretty good. Of course, if I get the vice president position, I have to step out of one of the clubs so I can focus on my job as vice president. Then of course I need to rely on my senators. Do you know that the points is a period of 2 weeks? So of course I will be understandable if they tell reach to me and say, look, listen, I have this problem, I have this, that I couldn't make my points, I have to understand, but also I have to make understand them that this is a responsibility. So I'm going to help them, but also to be clear with them, saying that I only have few opportunities to make other points, to go to the meetings, to go to the events, because this is a responsibility. You have to keep your responsibilities. I know that the time management, it will be a lot to do, but I think I'm capable to do it. I think I'm capable to keep all the senators and communicate with them and keep a conversation, and also a good relation. So they always keep with me and tell everything they need. Yes, I want to understand them, but always keep it professional. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so our next question will be for Tony. So, Tony, you've mentioned before being on the more introverted side. Obviously, with secretary, this is a very communication-heavy role. You have to be very consistent with sending out emails, keeping on top of who needs to be told what. You're constantly interacting with folks. So how are you going to kind of approach making sure that you're being proactive in communication while making sure that you are being true to yourself?
So, it's only the third time I say it, but I believe I have a really good professional and personal observation. So when I say that I'm introverted, that's more of my personal side. So I'm not good with like just approaching people on the street and just start talking to them. But when it comes to professional stuff, I don't shy away from emailing people to get the information that I need and also follow up with that request. And I believe that from past experience, I believe that when I get voted as the secretary, my introvertness would not interfere with me doing my responsibility and fulfilling it.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Our next question will be for Nico. So, Nico, as the president, you are overseeing the organization. You're kind of seen as the captain of the SGA ship. And this requires for you to balance not only being very approachable and personable, but also being able to be firm as a leader. So how will you navigate being personable while also being professional?
Well, you always have to stay true to yourself, and I feel like that's the very first step when it comes to being a leader. Be yourself. I've worked multiple times with people. I have experience working at AMC as a supervisor, so I have a supervisory role. I'm also president of a queer people, so I have a leadership role. I'm also secretary of ISA, so I also have another role in which I'm overseeing stuff. So making sure that things are getting done doesn't stop me from also being myself and from also being friendly with everyone, because that's a virtue and that's something that everybody should have. Be your own self while also being able to fulfill your job with passion and love. And that's what I would do, and that's what actually I'm currently doing with all my positions. So it has not been a problem for me to being able to delegate, to being able to hold accountable while being myself and staying true to my beliefs and who I am as a person.
Thank you. So our next question is going to be for candidate Etty. So this is a follow-up question from last week's stump speeches. Could you explain more on what you meant by saying that creating safe spaces for student groups was a negative way of fostering belonging in students and would segregate the campus?
What I actually said was, why not make the whole campus a safe space instead of, let's say, creating one small space there, one there, one there. Which, I mean, I'm not against that. If everyone wants that, the whole student body says we want it, then we might stop it. But as I just said that someone came up to me that said, are you gonna make safe spaces on campus? And I said, why not make the whole campus a safe space, like I said earlier? So yeah, it's not that I'm against the whole creating the safe spaces. I'm just saying that make it more inclusive for everyone.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Our next question is for candidate Josh. What do you feel is your greatest weakness of leadership, and how do you plan on using the next year to overcome it?
Oh, nice. So, all right. That's a great question. That's yeah. All right. So for me, my greatest weakness. Okay. I got one. So for me, I have a really bad organization problem. So for me, like, I mean, it's gotten better because there's like method to my madness now. I don't know if some of y'all in here are like that, to where like you can kind of navigate your chaos a little bit. But I did start taking new approaches to make sure that I'm speaking.
You're good.
I'm taking new approaches to kind of navigate that by getting planners and having assistance with learning how to properly organize. So that is something that will be fixed by the time I get office.
Thank you. So our next question is going to be for Luis. So you mentioned having leadership roles and being also in the pursuit of adopting additional leadership roles in different organizations. How will you go over and balance your responsibilities in student government with your other organizational responsibilities and maintaining your grades?
Oh, well, okay. So since I'm an international student, like don't have other concerns that other people like US citizens can have with work, or something like that. But I mean, I can work, but right now I don't have the privilege, so I have a lot of free time that I want to take advantage to. So back then in Colombia, I was able to study at university. I did 3 semesters of mechatronics engineering, where I was doing 20 credits per semester, where I was using the whole weekend, spending it with my family. So that speaks a lot of my time management skills. I'm someone that, when it has to do his work, kind of finds the time to do it. So yeah, basically this semester I've been performing as the vice president of SHEP, being the vice chair of Student Outreach Committee, and also the secretary of Arete. So for me, I'm a morning person, so I like to wake up early in the morning and get my stuff done before going to class. So basically, my morning routine is wake up at 6, and by the time at 9:30, I'm done with my homework of the whole week. So at the end of the day, I can dedicate that free time through the night to brainstorm ideas for SHEP, to develop the agendas for Arete, and also to contact people for possible partnerships with SHEP and also our subcommittee, SGA. So yes, basically that previous experience with time management in Colombia, and also the habits that I have in my lifestyle, basically.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So our next question is going to be for our vice presidential candidate. Lise, hypothetically, you have 3 presidential candidates here. One of the 3 of them is very likely to win the election, especially because we don't allow write-ins. So if you believe that the president is making poor or unethical decisions, how would you handle that situation? Would you prioritize loyalty to the president, or would you act independently in the best interest of the student body, even if it creates risks creating conflict within the leadership?
Okay. First, I have to talk with the person who I work, that is with the president. I would reach to him and say, hey, you're having time management problems, there is something that is bothering you, there is something that is not going well, to talk with him, because finally I'm his right hand, I'm his I can be her vice president. But then, if the behavior continues, I have to talk with the advisors, because even the right hand, the student body is the one who shows me to represent them. So I can be against my student body who are trusting me in that position. So if I feel that the president, after I talk with him, is still doing behavior that is not ethical or there is not in favor to all the student body, I should talk with the advisor. For the reason of the advisors, to tell them, hey, I have this problem right now with the president, this is happening, what we can do. Because there is no helpful for students. I think that's the right process that I have to do. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Our next question is for all of the presidential candidates. So, as president, what leadership skills have you obtained in life that makes you the best candidate for the role? We'll start with Josh.
Alright. Alright, for me, I've had various scenarios that kind of play a role in my life. Growing up with my parents, my dad had to work 3 shifts to put food on the table. And so, I was the ringleader of the house. Like he said, listen, I don't care what happens, you stay in this living room and make sure that everything is settled. I was like 12. So, mind you, I was like 6 foot then, so I guess I'm sort of broke in. They're probably like, whoa, that's a big guy. But from there, like watching over my siblings kind of taught me the importance of stepping up to the plate and being the one that can really take the charge of the household. And that kind of like translated to my life with my friends. I was always like the designated person to make sure that we got home safely, on Or if I'm out with my friends and they're drinking, I was always the one that wasn't drinking to make sure that everybody gets home safe by driving them home. So I've always kind of had the experience of like being that person to look out for others. And I guess even like in high school, I was a marching band sex leader. If you know anything about that, you know that's a lot of work. So that kind of helped too. But basically, what I'm trying to say is that my whole life I've always been put in a position to look out for others, lead by example, and do the best I can to help people. And so my goal now is simply to be the person that you can talk to when you have things. If you have things that you feel like people won't hear or won't listen to, and I want to be the voice for the voices. So that's kind of my goal.
Thank you very much. We'll have Etty respond next. Yes. As president, what leadership skills have you obtained in life that makes you the best candidate for the role?
Oh, conversation skills was full. I know my speech the other day wasn't very good, but one-on-one conversations, I'm a master of those. I believe so. And my schooling background, so discipline, and working good under pressure, just a little bit of coffee. And well, that, just doing whatever is needed to get the job done. So basically, yeah.
Thank you very much. Nico?
So, two skills that I feel like are critical that I obtained while being a leader was adaptability and also problem solving. Because as a student leader, you're going to face multiple situations that you cannot even imagine. There's going to be a lot of situations that multiple times you're not going to know what to do right away. And that's why adaptability is important. You're going to adapt to yourself to multiple scenarios, multiple situations, and multiple outcomes. So you're gonna evaluate. That's when you have to be critical thinking as well. And you have to evaluate what's gonna be the best outcome and the best solution from that situation you're involved in. And there's a lot of problem-solving situations in which I've been involved in the past and that I'm currently involved in as a student leader at AGC right now. And it's part of reflecting and analyzing everything. Once you analyze something and you get the hang of it, that's when you can like decide your future and you can decide what decision you're gonna take, what's gonna be the next move, and what's gonna be the best decision you're gonna take based on everything.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Our next question is going to be for Secretary Candidate Tony. So, how could SGA improve its organizational systems? Some examples include the general body meeting agendas and minutes, emails, files, and other messaging platforms.
So I see that the current system is pretty much well done, but what I would do is to make it a little more intuitive. So a personal problem I encountered being the secretary of event coordination just happened today, which I have to submit the meeting minutes, but I cannot find the place. I had to click through 4 different tabs to kind of find where it is, and I had to create a whole new folder because I thought it was there, but it wasn't. So what I would do is find a way to have shortcuts so that future secretaries of subcommittees can just click and then they can just find the place where they're supposed to be. And I would also try my best to come off as an approachable person so they can approach me and ask questions without fear of judgment.
Awesome. Thank you very much. So this next question is going to be for our presidential and vice presidential candidates, since they are both the first and second in command. So this question is, our school student government association is very active in intercollegiate events and organizations like the Florida College System Student Government Association and the American Student Association of Community Colleges. Have you participated in these activities, and what did you gain from those experiences, if so? Lisa, if you'd like to start off. since you're volunteering.
Well, first with the Florida Student Government Association, the SPISCA. I recently was in the conference this last week, and I get the Florida Learning Training Diploma with my twins. So what I got from this conference is not only to talk with people at our college and to know what they do, how they manage, how they're senators, how they manage the leadership. For me, that for me is to get new insights to bring to our college. But also this conference helped me to improve leadership skills, to improve time management skills, to improve how I have to be as vice president, how is the role, how it's important to be part of SGA. Help me to understand that we are the voice of the future, we are the voice of the students. Of course, if I get elected as vice president, I will continue to go to that conference, continue to get involved in national conference, to go and participate, so I can bring new insights to our college. Thank you.
Matthew, would you like to answer next?
Well, this being my first semester, I haven't had a chance to, go to all those committees that you mentioned, but I grabbed every opportunity that I had, joined the SGA. Well, even for the Senate elections, which I did not know, it being my first election year, I was going out and campaigning and asking everyone to vote for me for Senate. And well, so like I said, conversations. Instead of making speeches to everyone, I'm going up to everyone one by one, and I'm like, hey, how are you? And listening to them and all that stuff. So yeah, that's what I've achieved and made a lot of new friends as well.
Thank you very much. We'll go with Nico next.
Well, SGA has given me a lot of blessings and a lot of opportunities on the 3 semesters that I've been in it. And one experience that I would like to highlight was recently I traveled with SGA to the American Student Association of Community Colleges in Washington, D.C. with multiple community colleges from different campuses. Not only did I have the opportunity to learn the struggles that they're facing in their respective states and what causes are they fighting for, but I could also relate them with the current situations that we're currently living in Florida and the situations that brought me and all the SGA's HEC students to that room in that conference. I learned a lot about how they were thinking, I learned about their mission, and not only that, but that also influenced me to connect with my inner mission and to connect with multiple advocacy opportunities that I would like to eventually bring on campus. We did a lot of great things on that conference, and the highlight was definitely working with different students to speak to Rick Scott's advisor about the send them back bill, because a lot of us in here in HEC Mabry, we are immigrants and we are international students that we fought so hard to be here, and we deserve to fulfill our dreams, and we deserve to keep fighting for that cause that is keeping us alive and keeping us in this country. So we did not have the chance to speak with Rick Scott's staffer. If we did, I'm pretty sure that we would have done a great job. But that's not stopping me, and that is not stopping the rest of us from the group. We're right now waiting for a follow-up for Rick Scott's staffer so we can discuss about the send them back bill, because it is important that for our future, we have people together and we have those who are feeling marginalized. We have those in mind, and that we have those that are keeping them, so we can make an impact and we can continue working for our campus and to make this country and state better.
Thank you. Great. Lastly, Josh.
For me, I did have the pleasure of going to FESCA this year to just learn different things from different people. And there was just so many jobs from different teachers, other people that are in the position as me. And I witnessed an ATC representative win the FESCA vice president seat, so that was dope. And even me, I got nominated to be in a position for FISCA as well as Liz. She also got a position as well, so it was a great experience. And being nominated at the first time going, it's kind of crazy. I didn't expect that to happen, but There were so much things that I learned about being a good leader, even the things that people were messing up on, and I'm definitely going to take them home and utilize them for the position I'm currently looking at right now. So. And I will go to the ones as well. So.
Thank you. All right, so this is another question that is, actually, let's go over and hop to you since you're just now joining us.
Should I introduce myself automatically?
Sure.
Okay. Hi guys, I just walked in, sorry. I was at a high school flag football game for my seniors. Basically, hi, I'm Sophie. I'm actually the current treasurer for SGA right now, but I'm running again because I like this team so much. That's a small question.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we'll go over and ask you a general question here. This is kind of the one that was very sticky. Got a little gasp from the crowd. How do you address conflicts with people that you don't like but still have to work with?
It's always the fake smile, fake happiness, and just go with it. That's how I typically, there's certain people I may not like, of course, but to go on about it, you have to stay professional. It's part of the job. It's part of the criteria, I believe. It's what you have to do to know how to address situations. You can't be childish over it. You have to work it out. And personally, from personal experience, this is me going back to my flag football days. I was actually a captain during those times, and there was a lot of beef. That's like so much beef. And during those times, it was really hard to talk with girls because there's always some small minimal things that they argue about, and for that, I have to, of course, be the bigger person and also address the situation and be like, all right, what is the problem? What is the issue? And then further on that, we work it out. It might not always work out how you like it, but of course, it's always at least addressing the situation better than leaving it alone. That's it.
Thank you very much. So this question is going to be for our presidential candidates. Some club leaders feel disconnected from student government leadership and are often confused about student government regulations. As the president, how would you collect their concerns and address the situations?
There's multiple clubs that HEC though maybe right now, and a lot of them are trying to gain that recognition, and not only that, but also achieve the goal of connecting with members and bring more members and create community engagement. One of my proposals was to actually make sure that I'm connecting, that I'm keeping in touch with faculty and staff, because there's multiple times in which students come and go on campus and their only interaction is limited to only faculty and staff. So I feel like maintaining great communication with them and informing them about the events and everything that's going on with different RSOs, it is really important. And that way, not only would it be beneficial towards these RSOs by creating more community engagement and bringing more people and members to their clubs, but at the end, it's also important for SGA because everything's connected at the end of the day, and we are all like a family. So, and SGA is overseeing all these clubs and beautiful organizations. So that's really important.
Awesome, thank you very much. We'll go to Josh next.
All right, yeah, fun speech. All right, for me, like I was saying before, like obviously the concept of two heads are better than one eye. Ball that goes now, imagine 50. So we have all these great people that are, working together to find a common goal. And I feel like as the head of that ship, I feel like it's important to reiterate the importance of finding ways to include the clubs, include these different organizations that want to work with us. And so I feel like to make it not seem like a hassle, make it seem like it's not something that would stress anybody out, rather than just giving it to one person or one group of people, we all work collectively to disperse the problem and try to break it down to each individual so that way we can spread out and work more effectively and break down the issue. So.
Last but not least.
As for the disconnect, like I said in my speech, that I'll be trying with this to attend as many club meetings as possible, so that disconnect is filled. And as for, can you repeat the question again?
Yeah, the question is that some club leaders feel disconnected from student government leadership and are often confused about SGA regulations. As the president, how would you collect their concerns and address the situation?
Oh, attending the club meetings is one of the best ways and fastest ways. So doing that, ask for the regulations, they can come to the student services office to understand the regulations, come to the e-board, or well, reach out, email or anything. So yeah, just be readily available.
Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll have a question for the treasurer candidates. So how can the Student Government Association improve how they manage and communicate about funds? Okay. How can the Student Government Association improve how they manage and communicate about available funds? Yep, so managing the money and talking about the money.
I like money a lot, huh? When it comes to managing funds, it isn't something that's, of course, like my own type of like thing where I'm like, this is how much I want y'all to have, this is how much I want, this is how much I'm gonna give out. When managing the funds, we work not just alone, but with the other executive board members, of course. We work with talk about, oh, how much do we want to give, how much do we not want to give, and we also see if it's even guaranteed we want to give that amount. And then the second part of that,
managing and communicating.
Communicating the funds. Well, we also have our general body meetings that you can go to. Our general body meetings is always open to the public. It's on Thursdays at 3:30. Everyone on the campus is welcome to come to talk about the funds. This includes all the clubs and anyone who's ever interested in learning about what's happening on campus in general. When we manage funds, we work with the people who are our senators, and we ask them, or we let them communicate with each other, talk about, let them discuss how much money should we give them. The clubs give presentations, they do it based off of that, and we also give point of information to our senators, talk about the situation, be like, oh, should we give them this much? Is it really recommended to give this much? Or should we lower it? Should we not give them this much because it can go towards other things as well? That is my answer.
Thank you very much. Same question.
So I think the key thing when managing a budget is to be organized. So we should have an Excel where everything should be breakdown, and that automatically will give me the numbers that will expose in the general body meetings, as Sophie said. I will communicate effectively what I calculated before the general body meetings with my Excel. I am someone that's proficient in computers, so I will manage with this tool I'm very proficient with. So yeah, basically is that, to be organized and communicate effectively at the general body meetings. Also, I would be someone that at his office hours will be sticking out around the office, because I know that sometimes people could be shy to enter to the office and ask questions. So that would be like the key, to be more approachable. To be like hanging out with people that would be interested in knowing what else is like happening. Also, as someone involved in other clubs, I would like to partner with other clubs and like communicate what we're doing, what do we have, and what are their possibilities. It's basically that: communicate effectively, be organized, and spread out information.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to go to kind of the last couple general questions. So these will be applied towards everybody. So the first one is, how have you contributed to the community in the past? This doesn't have to be HCC related. So Tony, you've been quiet for a second, so we're going to pick on you first.
So in the past, I've been, especially in high school, I've volunteered a lot, including going to donate clothes to the homeless community where I live. I used to live in San Antonio, Texas, and there was a big homeless community in downtown. So every other month or so, our school hosts a clothing drive, food drive, even like just toy drives. And then I would go with the volunteers to downtown to give it out. Ever since I moved here last August, I've been going to Humane Society to volunteer with the animals because I love animals. And when walking the dogs, yeah, that's basically what I do to help the community. Is volunteer a lot. I love volunteering.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Josh?
Yes. For me, for me, I basically like been doing volunteering since like I could walk. My dad used to, yeah, I was about to say that. Anyways, I had to babysit a lot growing up, but my most important and favorite thing I've done was I had the luxury of um, being around juvenile detention kids and teaching them about abstinence. Now, the thing that I realized about these kids is that they're often looked at with a label. You know, once you go to jail, you have a record. They see you as somebody that you probably shouldn't be around. You know, and to be able to talk to them and for them to see someone who's their age and communicate about a different lifestyle, a different pathway that can positively affect them. And I actually had the courtesy of meeting some of them because they got out of jail and they were telling me their stories about how my story and how my conversation with them changed their life. I would show you pictures, but I'll find them later. So it's awesome. But anyways, but yeah, like after that experience, it made me realize that we all on this panel have a choice to make on how we impact those around us, and that we can make the change. We can be the change that this campus and these people are looking for. You know? So I really get to enjoy and really do enjoy going around people that I haven't met or groups that people usually shut upon or look down upon, and hearing and seeing that they're really just like us, except they got caught when we didn't. So it was a great experience. It was a great time, but more importantly, I just like to take time to help work around people. Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Anyways, what I've done to impact the community, one of my biggest things, I'm such a sporty girl, I love playing basketball growing up, guys. This is all I talk about, I'm really sorry, but through high school, and even till now, I go to Lando Lakes every Saturday and Sunday, and I usually coach flag football towards young kids. This includes co-ed groups, girl groups, and also boy groups. It's one of the biggest things in my life. It's because I love playing sports. I love seeing little kids grow up to love sports as well. It's something where I love seeing girls grow confident to be able to express themselves, be kind of like a bully basically, enjoy playing sports, doing all that. I also do feeding for Tampa. I did that in high school. I sometimes do it now, but I was more frequent in high school. I used to always volunteer with my friends, even though it was just a pastime. It was something that, even though I did it for a pastime, it was still impactful, and it was fun to do, packing all the food. Mind you, I had to take some, but it was good food. It looked really good when I was packing it. Ooh, I would have kept to myself all of it. But those are the two main things I've really done to impact my community. I love kids. I love helping people in general, and it's just good nature to do that.
Sure.
All right. We talk a lot in our daily basis about leaving a mark in society, but I don't believe in that actually. I don't believe in just leaving a mark. I believe that you work hard, you develop yourself, and you develop your inner self, and you pursue the person that you want to be, and that mark is going to find you in the way. When it comes to HEC, I have multiple times in which I worked hard and my work was shown, and therefore I left the mark. One thing that can come up to mind is, of course, being the president of We Are People and reviving an organization that celebrates diversity back. It's something that really filled me with gratitude because the biggest reward at the end was not to be a leader, it was not to be chairing a meeting, but it was to create a beautiful community and bring people together and make them engage for things that matter at the end of the day. So that's one of my biggest contributions that I feel like I've given to campus, as well as being part of the international students ambassadors and be there and represent their voice. And we're currently working on that. It's not so much about what things you've done for the community, but also for what things you're planning to do for the community, because it's not yesterday, it's not today. Everything should start actually now, not tomorrow. And we're currently working as well for the International Students Ambassadors Festival. And we're working with the Civic Engagement Subcommittee to also provide information to all of those international and immigrant students so they can know their rights, know what they can and not do. So whenever they're feeling they're trapped in a situation where they cannot escape and they don't know how to act, they know what to do and they know how to act. And this information can be used for everyone. It can be used for not only students who are immigrants, but also for those who have people that are immigrants, family, boyfriends, relationships, anyone, because at the end of the day, we're all friends and we're all here to make connections and care for each other. And one last thing is that outside of school, and that's something that I would like to bring as well here, is awareness for domestic abuse, because I've been there unfortunately, but that didn't stop me. And that is actually pushing me to be here and to also be an inspiration for others who are standing in front of me right now. And I would like to keep advocating for these workshops and bring this on campus and also provide self-defense lessons for all of those, because not only is it important to be mentally strong and know how to defend yourself in situations like this mentally, but also physically, so you can be stronger to any adversity you can face in your life. And I feel like I've done a great job when it comes to leaving an impact in HEC domain.
Can you repeat the question, please?
The question is, how have you contributed to the community in the past? And it does not have to be HCC related.
One of the biggest traditions of my family since I was a kid is to go to foster carers' houses. With my mom, always prepare toys, plays, shows to go and take care of them. Lately, my high school years, I've been with a lot of my classmates to go to these foster care families and also to, I don't know how to say this name in English, but a house for old people. So, nursing home, that's the word. So, people who love to sing and dance, it always is a pleasure to me to bring the show to them, to bring happiness. One of the biggest experiences of my life that I remember was in my last year of high school. We went to a foster care family for Christmas, and the people and the kids started to call me mom. Because told me that, where's my mom? You are my mom? When is my mom going to come back? And that literally killed my heart completely. But it was always that I'm so happy to do to make that kids happy. Then when I moved here to USA months ago, I was looking for something to do, something to help the community. In September the last year, when I was here for US, my dog passed away. She was in Peru, I was here. I couldn't say goodbye. So that's when I decided to start to volunteer for Human Society. I went almost each weekend to go and help the dogs, and because the dog that passed away, she was a dog. She was a street dog that we rescued. And I feel like every dog has to have this opportunity to feel love, to feel that somebody cares for them. After in HEC, I've been contributing a lot as senador in my clothes. For example, one of the last videos I made for SGA was for the World International Day. Because for me, it's really important that we celebrate all the women of the world. Yet, if I continue in SGA as your president, I will continue doing these videos to create awareness about these topics, about Women's International Day, about international issues, about issues that every student care. Of course, you can bring to me and say, I think that SGA has to bring more awareness about this issue, about this topic. Yeah, I will be completely helpful. Sorry, I forgot the word in English. Yeah, we'll be able to help you, everybody. Thank you.
Oh, I will say that one of my core values when I've been myself would be like, be grateful of what you've been given and to give back to the community. So what I've learned since I was a kid was with my mom, who's been always concerned by the environment. She was always concerned by the environment. So I remember every Saturday when we were going to the farm, walk about 6 to 7 kilometers within the little town before entering to the farm, picking up trash that we were looking for in the streets. So we were doing that for 2 or 3 hours before getting to the farm. Also, when we were wealthy in the past, we were used to bring food to homeless people at church, give clothes and also toys. That was one of my grandfather's yeah, that's something that he was used to do because he was grateful that he was someone that barely had nothing, and then with God blessing, he became wealthy. So that's something that passed through generations, and that's what I want to do when I grow up, to give back. And also here at HCC with Chef, I've tried to build contacts to bring new opportunities here to HCC. Recently, we had an event in Noche de Ciencias where we were able to talk to real engineers from the industry and see their point of view, their opinions, ask them questions. So that's the way that right now I try to give back to the community, to use my resources that I have available as the VP to bring new opportunities to our student body at the Mabry campus. Also, every weekend, if I'm free, if I'm not burdened with homework or with my responsibilities, I go to Human Society and do the 8:30 to 12 p.m. Shift. So I walk dogs like for 3 hours and a half, more or less. So yeah, I mean, it's peaceful. You give back to the community. You get your cardio done too. So yeah, it's that.
Well, as for community work, that river Ravi used to like dry up every year, and me and my friends, well, it was a go now, volunteering things. So we clean up trash from the river every year as much as we could, and after that it was, well, at the family farm, my father would hold like this thing, we would, for 2 whole days, anyone, no matter where they're from, who they are, will be fed. And after that, we'll go to all the nursing homes and shelter homes and bring food to the people. And all the boys in the family will be the ones serving. And it was, as my father used to say, food is a right for everyone, and it will teach you boys some humility and humanity. So yeah. And last year, me and my friends bought out this pet shop, and we gave all the pets away, went house to house to give the pets to people. And I really wanted that one puppy, but this little kid wanted that I want to. So, what kind of a guy I would be if I were to take a puppy away from this kid? So yeah. And I don't know if this one counts or not, but I did like my brother's whole journalism classes assignments for a week because I was just bored. So yeah. And a lot of other stuff that I can't just remember from the top of my head.
Fair enough. All right. So, okay. So we're going to do a lightning round just to kind of cap things off. So we're going to have 3 questions that you will have 1 minute to respond to. And then at the very final thing, we'll go from the quote unquote lower positions all the way up to the presidential ones. And everyone will have 1 minute to kind of convince these folks to vote for you. Sound good? Okay, so we're going to start from this side. We'll go back down this way. So it's going to start on your side. You'll answer. It's going to go pop, 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 pop. And then Josh will answer 2 questions and then pop, 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 pop. And then you'll answer again, pop, 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 pop. And then I'll go over and say who. You're answering 1 question right now.
Okay, girl, I got you.
All right. Ready, Diva?
Yes,
Slay. Okay, so I'm going to ask a question. It's a lightning round, so you're going to have 1 minute to respond to the prompt. It's going to go from Sophie, Nico, Luis, Lise, Tony, Etsy, Josh, and then Josh will answer again, and it will go in reverse order, and we're going to do that 3 times.
Yes.
Sound good? All right. Number one for our lightning round. Let me get my timer ready here. How would you address the challenges with attendance for both clubs and senator committees?
How I address that is basically, of course, not just talking to them, but also reaching out to email visa or, if anything, talking with them in person. I think the best thing to do is communicate with them in person because that has to basically talking to make them ensure that they know over email. Of course, over email, I believe they would be noticed, but of course, not everyone checks their emails, which I hate. But of course, I would rather talk in person and allow them to express, get information out of, what's happening, why aren't you, knowing this, what's your that, help them get on top of things and not just being left in the dark.
Perfect.
All right, so attendance is really important when it comes to RSOs and also students, especially SGA senators. So communication is important, of course, but sometimes there's times where you have to do a little bit more. So you have to talk to the chair of the subcommittee and also maintain communication with the advisor of the RSO so you can explain them the situation, explain them what's going on. Because at the end of the day, it's the best interest of the club to feel represented and keep continuing with their mission. And that's what I would like to reinforce because everybody should be able to attend the meetings. That's why you sign up the first day that you want to be an RSO. You have the responsibility with SGA and with your members to be there. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
One idea that just came to mind for people to outside from SGA to attending our general body meetings, we could incentivize them, but raffle prizes at the end to people from outside SGA come, listen to us, see what are we doing with their budget, so they get informed of what we're doing. Also with our results, what we can do is to add more value to incentivize those clubs to build more contacts outside of HCC and really add value to those events and workshops that they plan to do.
Thank you very much.
As VP, I will be the principal responsible of the points of the senators. So for me, it was really important to make clear that you have to attend the general body meetings to keep your point and to keep the senator and not to get information. Also, for themselves, they have the responsibility to go to the general body meetings to keep also to be an official club in HUC. After that, with the students in general, there are no part clubs or there are no senators. I think the idea of this is very good to give more information about how much important SGA is, how much important is our meeting, so they can come and know more about what is over. Thank you.
So I believe that first you would have to know why they aren't attending. So addressing that personal problem would be the first step. And the second thing I was thinking about is to make them feel that they have importance when they attend the meeting. Because no one's going to show up to a meeting where they just essentially just a mannequin just sit there and attend. So it's really important that they know that their opinion is important to the club, and also show them that they do have a responsibility of showing up and attending. Thank you.
Repeat the question.
So the question is, how would you address the challenges with attendance for both clubs and senator committees?
Well, first of all, reaching out through email, and then as the vice president, maybe reach out and then, personally find them and be like, hey, you're not attending meetings, what's up? And after that, maybe, reaching out mostly. So,
Thank you.
Hi. For me, it's very simple. It's just divide and conquer. I feel like having people assigned to different things to kind of, especially for the e-board, to see what sides are doing what. That way we can break it down, see what each person's side is talking about, see what the problems are, what they like, what they don't like, and then we put it into a pool, we find a solution, and then we disperse and fix those problems. So at the end of the day, I feel like if people don't feel useful, we're not going to make time for it. So I feel like it's important to figure out one would draw attention, one would make them feel heard, one would make them feel seen, and make it seem and make it important, but also don't make it too crazy because it is college and we all are kids and we should be able to enjoy ourselves at the same time. So find that balance to be important as well.
Awesome. So our next lightning question here, if you could only change or improve one thing from your current student government association, what would it be?
I would definitely say communication with the student body. I feel like while I was campaigning and stuff like that, I heard a lot of people say like, I didn't even know there was an SGA. That's kind of insane. So I feel like we should definitely work to let them know the benefits of knowing about their SGA, know about what we're here for, and we're here for them, not just to hang out and have a cool buddy club system. We actually want to work for you guys, to be there for you guys, to make changes that you guys need, and whatever you guys see fit.
Well, the president, of course, I'll be the president, but aside from that, the awareness among students that, like Joe said, half the students don't even know that there's an SGA, and those who know, they don't know what the SGA is planning or doing or everything. So also invite more students to the giant body meeting so they know that the people they elected, what they are up to, how they're working for their betterment.
Thank you.
I have a much more personal response. I would definitely change the file system because I just had problems with it. So I would make it more streamlined, more intuitive on where anything is, and would have shortcuts for all the relevant files that any subcommittee might need, or even just a normal student might want to find.
This is going to sound repetitive, but also I will improve the information that we give SGA. When I was in my first semester, it took me almost 2 months to know every group, to know every organization, to know every function SGA, and to understand completely how this works, how works student activities, what the importance of SGA, what tools do we have, what organizations do we have, who are advisors, who can join them, all these kind of stuff, and maybe a lot of students are coming, or maybe they are leaving us, so they don't know to now. So also to improve how we give the information of the college.
Well, what I would definitely change or improve would be the EWAR members' involvement within subcommittees, because I think the EWAR members could enhance center experience, like with the work in the subcommittee, with communication, how to do their projects, how to get the job done. And also, I think by doing this, the impact of SGA will be at its maximum.
Well, that's
Thank
it.
I'm so sorry, lost track with the question.
I believe that the upcoming executive board has big shoes to fill for the upcoming year, and I feel like they've done a great job. However, if there's something that I would like to enhance, and that I'm really hoping that every single member of the executive board, and hopefully also the senators for next semester have, is that passion and that courage and that love for SGA, because at the end of the day, we talk about communication, but everything has to start from the inside, and it has to start from you loving your position, you loving what you do, and you loving others, because from that, you can take it to communication and communicate with teachers, faculty, and staff. I mentioned it already that communication is important, and we can do this, and that way we can promote more activities if we act with our hearts in hand, and we put heart behind all of these activities and opportunities and resources.
Right, basically, if I were treasurer, one thing I would love to change is the fact that I want individuals to be able to reach out. We do have things called reports where we have our senators to reach out on us on issues, but that's a thing where not everyone's comfortable with, or they're too scared to, or they're always feeling like they'll be shamed for it. That is one of the biggest things that we do not want on this campus, and it's not just for our senators, it's for people in general on this campus, because there's always some people who are too afraid to reach out, and they think it's something that they can't do at all. I want to be more open for everyone to be able to express themselves and be able to talk about any issues that happen, even if there might be a consequence that comes afterwards. And following on that, I wanted the information for the group to be more open so they have access to what they need to access for committees, like budgeting, how much money they have, what can they do. We have things like flyers, but we want them to be able to express themselves.
Okay. And for our last lightning question, is there another position you would run for besides your current, and why?
If there was another position, if I could run for it, it'd definitely be president. President, yeah, sorry guys. I would run for president. I would run for president because one, guys, I might be a little bossy, but I get this stuff done. I've always been kind of a lead in my life. I've been a captain for who knows how long, 4 years in high school. I've been the lead for piano, and when I was younger, I've done a lot of things. I feel like I have the experience for it. And one, I just love leading. I love being an inspiration to people, if anything. If it weren't for me loving money so much, I would be president. But hey, I would love to be president. I would love to be with people, and I would love people to engage with me and make changes. But my money loving dire heart is over that right now. So.
Well, going back to the skill, one of my biggest skills, which is adaptability, and that actually applies to this case because when I decided to apply for president, I actually thought of all the positions and all the beautiful roles that everybody has and how everything together can create a beautiful and amazing SGA. I feel like my heart and my experience and what I felt like, I felt a connection with the president position, and that's why I'm here today. But if I had to pick a role or another executive board position, I would say I like the chief of staff a lot because as the digital communication vice chair and previously the chair, I got to lead multiple projects for social media, and also as part of We Are Equal president, I had the opportunity to create social media content and posters. So that's really something that I'm passionate about, and I think that I have a new passion, which is graphic design. So.
Well, I will also say that it will be my pleasure to be chief of staff too. I would say that engaging with senators and the student body would be one of my passions to hear their voices and bring back to the e-board, bring students and senators' concerns and make things about it. Also, like to hear their reports, be like more friendly about it. Like try to arrange them in a way that they won't feel afraid of expressing like their concerns or opinions. So yeah, chief of staff could be another option, but I will stay with treasurer.
If I would get choose another position, guys, I am mass communication major and social media manager on FELA. I'm social share at ISA. I'm applying for social sharing at anything. So of course I love social media. I want to study traffic advertising and public relations, so social media has my complete part. Yeah, also, I like to talk. I can be very shy at the beginning, but when you know me, I talk a lot. So also, I will be completely love to communicate with all the senators, to listen to them and give them advice because I love to talk. So yes, so chief of staff will be another position that I was thinking to apply, but I decided to be vice president. Thank you.
If I would choose another position, I would probably go with vice president because it's because as you mentioned, I'm an introvert, so I believe that if I become a vice president, it would definitely help me to become more extrovert and be more comfortable with reaching out. And I feel like it's a good position because I don't want to be a president. It seems like a bit too much. So I would stick with just vice president, and I think that's a good midpoint for me.
Thank you.
If I could be president, run for vice president maybe because at least I still would like to be a mouthpiece to the masses. So yeah, the student body, I get to be a part of them, listen, hearing them out, and then making their real heard and everything. So, vice president.
For me, I mean, to start off, I chose president because we wouldn't want to put a face and not just black. But anyways, I feel like for me, like being a leader has always been tied to my life. It's always been it's always been part of who I am as a person. And so when I was looking at the ballot, I was like, teacher study makes sense. I can do it. But I've always been told to go big and go home. And having belief in myself is a big thing to have as a characteristic, because if I don't believe in myself, I won't be able to believe in God and believe in the ability to lead the ship into a good place coming into the next year. So, yeah.
Thank you very much. All right. So last bit, you will have 1 minute to kind of convince these folks, if they are not already convinced to vote for you, to convince them. So we'll start with, for the secretary, with Tony.
I say I'm pretty qualified because I've been the secretary in 3 different organizations I found myself in already. First in student council in high school, and then also in the incarnation. I am not good with talking, as you can probably tell, but I'm really good with listening and also noting down. I've developed a pretty good intuition in terms of knowing when to write down stuff and what to write down, instead of just writing everything down and it becomes a mess.
All right. So next will be the treasurers. We'll start with Sophie.
Basically, why I'm qualified to be treasurer is I'm actually the treasurer right now, guys. Oh my gosh. I feel qualified because I actually have been through it for the semester already. I've already been through all the Excel sheets, doing the fund requests, and all that. If anything, I've sent so many budget requests. I keep forgetting like how many I've sent. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I feel like I've done this so many times. I can do it blindfolded, back of my brain. It's somewhere there. And it's something I just love doing. It's who doesn't love money, guys? Like, come on, everyone loves money. It's like the best thing in the world, and I just love doing that job. It's my favorite thing to do.
Thank you. Next, we'll have Luis.
Well, I do think I have the technical skills to be the treasurer too. I'm very proficient with Excel and other programming stuff. And also, I think I have experience before, as I mentioned, Chef and Ariete. So yeah, I know how to do the work. Also, with experience as vice chair of student outreach multiple times, 2 times right now, 2 semesters, these 2 semesters I've been here at the SGA. So yeah, I think I have the experience, the skills, and the hard work, the passion, and yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. Hopefully, I'll be elected. So guys, if you want someone that is passionate, that's passionate, has the experience, that will hear your concerns, that will be approachable, I'm here.
Thank you very much. We'll go to the vice president with Lise.
The first thing that I say in this town hall is that SGA helped me to get confident in myself, improve my leadership skills, and show me how I'm capable of. 1 year ago, I was applying for my visa to come here. I was not expert English. I was 17 years old, and had no confidence in myself. Right now, I'm talking to all of you, telling them vote for me for vice president. Not only because I think I have the qualifications for all the clues that I have been, all the work I have done, because also I have the heart and the mind to help everybody, to advocate for either of you, and to know that you always can trust me. You always can come and ask me questions and ask me help. Because once somebody helped me, and now I want to help everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we will go to our presidential candidates. We'll go first with Etty.
Well, I have a thing for connecting with the masses, and although I can be a bit pushy, like if something is up to me, I won't sleep until the job is done. And if I have to leave something to someone else, I'll be like, "Did you do it? You didn't? Do it right now, please." And aside from that, if any of the people, well, here who know me, they might know that I hardly shut up. So I honestly don't care if you vote for me or not, but just know that if you do, and if you vote for me and elect me, I won't be shutting everybody's needs, trying to make campus a better place, and a time on HCC. I'm a very man.
Thank you very much. Next, we'll go to Josh. Pearl of the Burl, baby.
I want to close out. Anyways, you start my time, please. All right, so I'm gonna be transparent with you guys. I can sit here and tell you all I'm the best and I have all these qualifications. You heard what I had to say. But more importantly, I want you guys to understand that the power is in your vote. I want you guys to do the research, to look into each candidate, figure out what means the most to you, what stands out, what doesn't stand out, what you like, what you don't like, and make a decision from there. To be honest, everybody here is very qualified to do what they need to do, but it's all about what sticks out most to you guys. So make sure when you guys will make your decision, make the vote based on what matters the most to you. As far as my campaign goes, your voice, my choice, I told you this, I probably put half of y'all in here right now, to be honest. But my goal is to simply give a voice to the voices who feel like they're unheard and unseen. And if you feel like that's you and you want a voice, make sure you vote for me. Thank you.
Thank you. Last but not least, Nico.
Can you repeat it again?
It's not a question. It's 1 minute going over and.
My little elevator pitch. Well, I would say.
Oh my God, oh my God.
Don't tell me that. SGA has been there for me, and I've had the opportunity to be there for SGA, and my love for SGA and for HGC in general has been there ever since day one. And that's something that I would like to continue to do. And I have these qualifications like being the president of a club, also the secretary of another club, and being also the vice chair of a subcompany. But at the end of the day, I don't want these to be a label for me, because at the end of the day, I'm here to work for everyone in the room to be heard. And that's what I would like to do as my main mission. And advocate for those interests and of course those voices that I feel like should be heard. That's what I would like to do. 3, 2, 1. Because I love SGA and I love this campus. Thank you.
So thank you all. There is one last question that is just going to be a yes or no from the Instagram. I gotta ask it. What do you think about getting a piano on campus? Dale Mabry doesn't have one. Okay, great, wonderful. So thank you all so much for participating. Our awesome candidates are going to be looking for your votes. Check your Hawk mail the morning of the 9th. That's going to be on Wednesday. Polls will be open until midnight on the 10th. We'll be announcing the election results 2 weeks after that. Other than that, have a great day, everyone. Remember, all college days tomorrow, which means no class.